Hey, Nikki, let me ask you, when you hit a challenge in your business, or maybe even an opportunity that's causing you a challenge because you're perhaps overthinking it or trying to make a decision and it's really, really hard, when you're trying to figure out what to do, who do you turn to for advice?
Oh, this is a good question, Ness. And I might even, before I get to the question of who I turn to today, I might share a bit of insight around who I had turned to in the past. And I'm sure you have as well. And I'm sure that the beautiful women watching can relate to this, because what is really tempting to do is to ask the people that are around us. Now, that's fine if those people are business women or business people or mentors, but when they're your family, your mom or dad or your brother or sister or your partner, amazing people in our lives and probably really smart and intelligent, but are they the right people to ask and answer questions around business? I think it depends on the type of advice that you're looking for or the challenge that you're helping to overcome. But even things like thoughts and comments on branding. Are they your target market? And if they're not, they're potentially going to give you some advice that's not the most relevant and not the most value, as well-meaning it is. And of course, the intention is great. So I think this is a common challenge, particularly if you're a solo business owner, or if you're remote. I mean, the amount of times I've said to Jules, hey babe, what do you think about this? And she's like, oh God, please don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, fair point. That's a bit of pressure. So we take this advice. It might not be the most relevant for our business. And sometimes it might be conflicting with what our intuition is telling us as well.
So true.
So I'm going to throw this question back to you. I know I'm answering a question with an answer here, but Ness, what do you think is the solution? Who do you think is best to get advice from?
Well, it's funny, you started with who you would ask now and then who you ask sort of in time goes past. And I think often we do turn to, the mentors out there in our business world and all of that kind of stuff. But I think rather than just thinking that that's the solution, I want to challenge women to think about, well, what can we learn from our peers? The challenges and opportunities that we face in business, chances are there's lots of other women in business that are having very similar experiences that may be a little bit further ahead on their journey, or may just have a completely different insight because they come from a different industry, a different service offer, a whole different product range. And what I love about the idea of coming together with like-minded business people, so, you kind of want to have some sort of values match and be having, just at a stage in your business where you have women around you that can actually offer some insights, but it gets a lot of eyes on your business. It gets a lot of different perspectives, different ways of people adding value based on their own experience, or just listening to what you have to say and then having a completely different perspective. Or they could ask an amazing question that gets you out of your head and out of the journey you're going on in order to figure out what to do and get you to think of different possibilities. So when I think women come together in business, and our motto is, as we come together, we're smarter and stronger. And this is a really good way of exemplifying that, because I think it's the connections that we have. It might be the recommendations that we give in relation to, oh, I did that and I used this, and you might want to go and explore that. And when we compare that opportunity of having other business women have their eyes on our problem or our opportunity, how different can it be to having your mum or your partner and who have the best intentions for you and they're well-meaning, but they also want to protect you. They don't want you to take any big risks. They don't want to challenge you because they want to just continually pump you up. Well, that's how we kind of hope our family are going to think about it. So I think that you're getting, that's right. And I think you're just allowing yourself an opportunity to step more into a CEO kind of business role and getting that the peer advice. And that's a great option for you to explore, as well as having a mentor or a coach. It shouldn't be necessarily only one way is the best way, because it's got to work for you. But I really want to challenge women out there to start thinking about who is in their circle that they can turn to and ask those kind of questions about, so we can bounce off. Because I think for a lot of us, we like to do that. We like to bounce off. God, was it women have 10,000 words a day or something? I'm sure we have way more. So yeah, definitely that.
Yeah, amazing. And I like what you said around having different types of support and different types of people to go to. So a mentor or a coach or, a community of women. And look, if you do have family that really help pump up your tires, sometimes if you know what you're going to them for and it's just for a feel good, that's okay as well. But be aware of the quality of the advice, because there's so much advice out there. There are so many people giving their opinions and their ideas. So make sure that when you do reach out, even in a community of like-minded women, that they are, as Ness said, they're your women. It's a community of like-minded business women or people. And what we have is in our, and I want to pick your brain on this a little bit, Ness, because in our business mastermind, we have what we call hot seat mentoring. And that is a part of every virtual strategy day that we do, which is run each quarter. It is amazing to be a part of. Ness introduced it to myself and our community. And it is just everything that Ness talked about around being able to support each other, hold each other to account, challenge each other in a constructive way, but really champion each other and walk away with incredible ideas on how we can maybe do something different or overcome a challenge, ideas that we've never thought of ourselves. So Ness, do you want to just really quickly share how did this come about? Why hot seat mentoring?
Yeah, well, I had firsthand experience around hot seat mentoring when I was in a mastermind a few years ago over in the States. And we had this, like, I'd never heard of it before, but I love that it's called hot seat mentoring, because you're literally sitting in a seat at the front of the room. So you sort of like, you got the hot seat. And what I enjoy is you get just a minute to talk about your problem or your issue. And I think that helps us become succinct and really hone in on what that is. Because sometimes we can do all the backstory, all the justification, all the things that are going through our head, but really, what is our ask? So what are we asking of the people around us? And then we get an opportunity for them to just fire different questions, offer different suggestions, to really discuss it. And it's timed. So everybody in our community gets the opportunity to have that experience sitting in the hot seat. And it can be a challenge in your business, like, if something's come up, you don't know what to do. But also, my experience was there could be opportunities. And when you get an opportunity and you've got to make a decision, sort of like a fork in the road, it can be great to have different perspectives on that too. But I think my favorite part that we have introduced and we run with is the love notes. And I love love notes. So at the end of our hot seat mentoring, each person that's been listening to the person in the hot seat writes notes. So if we do it online, it might be virtual. If we do it face-to-face, it might be on a card. But it's that whole thing to go back and read. And for me, that was so powerful to come away from, to come back to, because they were beautiful, positive, you've got this kind of messages, but also really practical. This is what I suggest you do next. This is who you need to connect to. Here's a resource that's really available to you. So all of that combined just leaves you walking away, or in my experience, leaves me walking away going, oh, wow, I feel like this weight's being lifted off my shoulders. And yeah. I think that's definitely the experience of the women that we've been doing this work with. So
yeah,
what would you say? Oh, sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's just your experience, because it's definitely the feedback that we've received, and even experiencing, facilitating that and seeing the aha moments. Even what comes to me, and this was just some feedback that I think you mentioned you received, is I feel seen and I feel heard.
Yes.
That's what this experience does for women in business. And that's something that our parents, mum, dad, sisters, brothers, partner, whoever it might be, bestie, but not biz bestie, they don't get what it's like unless they've had businesses before, what it's really like to be in the hot seat of business, creating a business. Right. So if anything that you have heard today resonates with you as, oh gosh, that sounds amazing, well, yeah, I get it, I'm guilty of that sometimes too, We have a strategy day coming up on the 5th of April, a virtual strategy day that anyone can join from anywhere in the world. And hot seat mentoring is a part of that. Ness, just to put you on the spot, what are we covering off in terms of the money business session in that virtual strategy day?
We are having a look at setting your financial goals, but not just the business financial goals. It's really focusing on your overall wealth goals.
Yeah, love that. So important, because there's a distinction between business finances and personal finances. And if you've missed it, go and check out the Insta Live that Ness just did with Erica. We might share the link somewhere as well, because it was awesome. We'll also be looking at how you can move away from the busy trap, the hustle, and feel like you're getting a little bit more control back in your life. You also get access to our mastermind for a whole month if you join us for this virtual strategy day. And of course, you get Ness and I, both of us. We like to say 2 for the price of 1. It's cheesy, but anyway, we'll just own it. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you're curious to find out more, links in the bio, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.